April 30th, 1993. A 19-year-old girl is sitting courtside, leading her match 6-4, 4-3. She's the best tennis player alive. Maybe the best there's ever been. 30 seconds later, a stranger walks up behind her and plunges a knife into her back. What happens over the next 3 years is one of the most remarkable comebacks in sports history. And almost nobody remembers how close it came to never happening. Her name was Monica Seles. At 17, she became the youngest world #1 in tennis history. By 19, she had already won 8 Grand Slam titles, more than most legends win in an entire career. She wasn't just winning. She was rewriting what was possible in her sport. And then, in one moment, all of it was taken from her. Not by an opponent, but by a man in the crowd who'd never even met her. Seles was in Hamburg, Germany, playing a quarterfinal match. During a routine changeover, the kind of break players take 100 times a season, a man named Günter Parsche walked to the edge of the court and stabbed her in the back with a boning knife. The blade went nearly 2 centimeters deep, just shy of her spine. He wasn't some unhinged stranger acting at random. He was obsessed with Steffi Graf, Seles' biggest rival, and he wanted Graf back at #1. He'd planned it. He'd waited for his moment, and in front of 7,000 stunned fans, he got it. Seles survived. Physically, the wound healed in weeks. But something else broke that day. Something that doesn't show up on a medical scan. What happened to her attacker afterward made things even worse. And it's the reason Seles said she could never trust a stadium crowd again. Here's the part most highlight reels skip. Günter Parsche stood trial and was found psychologically abnormal. He served no prison time, just probation. The man who tried to end her career and nearly her life walked free. Seles was outraged and devastated. She later wrote that the court had been her domain, the one place she felt invincible. Now she couldn't even look at one without freezing. She didn't return to tennis in a few months, not in a year. 28 months passed. She gained weight. She battled depression. She'd later describe it as falling into an abyss of fear and anxiety that had nothing to do with her body and everything to do with what was happening in her mind. While she was gone, the sport moved on without her. Her rivals kept winning. Her ranking, once untouchable, became a memory. If you only knew her as the prodigy who dominated tennis at 17, you wouldn't have recognized the woman sitting at home in 1994, unable to walk onto a court. The turn didn't come from a single dramatic moment. It came slowly. Seles started practicing again, privately, away from cameras. In August 1995, over 2 years after the stabbing, she walked back onto a competitive court for the first time at the Canadian Open. She won the entire tournament. The crowd gave her a standing ovation before she'd even hit a ball. It wasn't a fairy tale yet. A month later, she reached the US Open final and lost to Steffi Graf, the same rival her attacker had been obsessed with. It would have been easy to read that loss as proof she couldn't get back to the top. Instead, she kept going. In January 1996, nearly 3 years to the day since the attack, Monica Seles walked into Melbourne for the Australian Open. This was the tournament she loved most. She'd won it 3 times before the stabbing and never lost a match there. She fought through the tournament, including an almost upset in the semifinal where she came back from the brink against a rising young American star. Then, in the final, she defeated Anke Huber in straight sets, 6-4, 6-1. She lifted the trophy with tears running down her face. It was her 9th Grand Slam title, and her first since the attack. She would never again be the dominant, untouchable force she once was. But she didn't need to be. She'd already proven the only thing that mattered, that he didn't get to decide how her story ended. She did. Seles' road back wasn't fast, and it wasn't clean. It took years, therapy, weight gain, public losses, and a level of courage that has nothing to do with talent. The lesson isn't never give up. That's too simple for what she actually did. The real lesson is this: recovery isn't a straight line, and you're allowed to take 28 months if that's what it takes. What matters is that you walk back onto the court. If her story moved you, the next one will hit even harder. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.